Hello everybody, so I'm back from a long break. I'll be going through in this video the kinematics of rigid body. So we have moved away from the kinematics of particle. Okay, so this is the chapter 2. Before I carry on with the tutorial or this video, I'd like to have some announcement. I won't be going through all the questions in tutorial anymore, and instead I'll just handpick some questions, maybe some from the textbook and some from tutorials. Otherwise I won't be able to complete all the syllables, and I don't think I can complete all of the syllables by the time school starts, and I'm just trying to complete as much as I can, so it will help you all in understanding dynamics. To be honest, it's actually quite okay one, and it's not that bad if you can understand the concepts. Okay, so I'll proceed with the video and the tutorial. So for this dynamic tutorial 5, we're embarking on the kinematics of rigid body. So we'll be talking a lot about body attached frames. Okay, so in this question 1, we have a corner A that moves with a constant velocity of 900 mm per second to the right. At the instant where theta is 30 degrees over here, determine the angular velocity of the rod AB and the velocity of the collar B. Okay, as usual, we put in whatever I have and write it down. Okay, and we can start to find out what do I need to solve to get my answer. Okay. Now, because this is kinematics of a rigid body, so there's a concept of body attached frame. So in this case, when you have watched your lamps, you know how to do the body attached frame. Now, I'm trying to find velocity of B. To find velocity of B is actually velocity of B with respect to the frame and the velocity of B prime. Okay? Now, velocity of B with respect to the frame, I'm putting a body attached frame onto point A, or basically the rod itself, it's not point, so it's the whole body over here. So meaning to say, this frame will rotate, translate alongside with the rod. Okay? Now, what I'm trying to say is, what is the point B with respect to this frame? But what we know is there's no velocity. Hence, velocity of B with respect to the frame goes to 0. And then I'm trying to find what's velocity of B prime. Basically the entrained velocity. Entrained velocity is very simple. It's just omega B from A crossed with RB from A plus velocity of A. I know velocity of A. I do not know what's the omega B from A. I do not know what's the velocity of B, but I know what's RB from A. Okay, so I put in all the whatever I have, and I try to see how many unknowns I have. So velocity of B, we know that is VB constrained at negative 70 degree over here. It will never move out this negative 70, so we know it's constrained over here. Omega, I assume it's going in a positive direction, which is counterclockwise. Then I cross product with the length of AB plus the velocity of A, which is 900 mm per second to the right, which is positive I direction. So with this, I got one vector equation and two unknowns. With one vector equation, two unknowns, I can find out these two unknowns. So to find out these two unknowns, you can resolve this whole equation into x and y axis, or basically x and y components, and try to solve for both. But I think it's quite tedious, so I teach you a better method, and that will be vector dot product. So recall that vector dot product is, there's a vector A dot with vector B. It's just the magnitude of A and B cosine the angle in between these two vectors. Okay, so you want to get rid of certain values, right? You can simply dot product a unit vector that has a degree of 90 degrees in between them, because cosine 90 degree goes to 0. If you don't understand what I'm trying to say, never mind, it's okay, because I'll be doing some example, then you'll start to understand. Okay, if you don't understand, never mind, just listen first. Now, for this question, I will do a dot product of unit vector in a 20 degree direction, okay, for both sides. So over here, why 20 degree? Because I know that velocity of B is a vector in a negative 70 degree direction. I'm trying to get rid of velocity of B because I'm trying to solve for angular velocity of B from A. When I dot product 20 degree, I'm trying to create the angle 90 degrees between velocity of b and this unit vector. Why? Because when I do the dot product, I can get rid of velocity of b, so I can only focus on one unknown. Can you see? Because cosine negative 70 minus 20 is negative 90, so cosine negative 90 goes to 0, so VB goes to 0, and I only have one unknown, and then I can very easily solve for omega b from A, and that gives me negative 3.68 radians per second. And this means that my initial assumption is wrong. It's not rotating in the positive direction, it's rotating in the negative direction, but it's okay. Then I just put in the vector form, that will be negative 3.68 in the k hat direction. Okay, so that's the answer. Next thing, I'm trying to find velocity of b because I know what's omega b from A. So remember this equation 1. Now I'm trying to get rid of omega b from A. So let's think of an angle, a unit vector that can get rid of omega b from A. Oh, negative 30 degrees. Because 30 degrees and 60 degrees is 90 degrees in between. So I dot product this on both sides. Very simply, I can get velocity of b, that will be 1017.464 mm per second, and put in vector form, that will be 1017.464 in a negative 70 degree mm per second. So that's the answer for question 1. Okay, question 1 is quite simple, just need to understand the concept of body attached frame. Okay, moving on to question 2. Now for question 2, in the position show, bar AB has a constant angular velocity of 3 radians per second counterclockwise. Okay, so this is in the positive direction. Determine the angular velocity of bars BD and DE, and also the acceleration of BD and DE. When you see this kind of question, first thing that you will do is always find out where are the fixed points. So over here I can see fixed point A, fixed point E. Why do we find fixed points? Because the velocity about any fixed point is the same. What do I mean? Velocity of B with respect to fixed point A is the same as velocity of B with respect to fixed point E. Okay? Now, how do I find velocity of B? Velocity of B is actually velocity of B from A. See, it's just a single rod. In fact, you can use your chapter 1 knowledge to solve for velocity of B. Okay? So, you find out that your velocity of B is just angular velocity of B from A cross product with the length of B from A. So, find out what you do not have to do this problem. We do not know what's RB from A, but that's no problem. This is because RB from A can be simply calculated through Pythagoras theorem. See, I draw a triangle over here. B from A is just the Pythagoras theorem, where I know the adjacent length is actually 300. How do I know 300? 225 plus 75, so this is 300, and then the height is 100. Through Pythagoras theorem, I can find out it's 316.228. The angle theta over here, I'm trying to find out because vector has the magnitude and the direction. Okay, so how do I find this angle theta? I can use tangent inverse of the y over x, so I can get this theta prime. In fact, this is actually theta prime. Okay, so theta prime is actually 18.435 degree, but that's not the angle that we want because it's measured from the positive x axis. Hence, you must add 180 degrees. So that will be 198.435 degrees. So very simply, you got your unknowns, plug it in, and you find out that velocity of B is 948.684 in a 288.435 degrees direction. Okay, so you find out this velocity of B with respect to A. Now, what I'm trying to do is I want to find velocity of B with respect to E. Velocity of B with respect to E can be found by VB equals to VB from D plus VD from E plus VE. Because we know that VE is a fixed point, it's not moving at all, so it goes to 0. Similarly for the VA lah. Okay? Same, just put in your unknowns, or put in whatever you know already, and find out what are your unknowns. Over here, we find out that my unknowns is omega B from D and omega D from E. And you have one vector equation and two unknowns. So, this one vector equation, two unknowns, I can solve for these two unknowns using dot product. So using the same concept as question 1, I'll dot product a unit vector that can get rid of one of the unknowns. So in this case, I'm trying to find out what is omega B from D. Very simply, I can find out omega b from d is actually negative 1.5 radian per second, because my initial assumption in the positive direction of omega b from d is wrong. Hence, the answer is negative 1.5 in the k direction of omega b from d. Okay, next, I'm trying to find omega d from e, so I dot product 90 degrees to get rid of omega d from b. Because over here, omega d from b is in the direction of 180 degrees. When you dot product 90 degrees, the angle between this and this is actually 90 degrees, and hence you can get rid of omega b from d. Okay, so we'll do the simple math, and very simply we can find out what's omega d from e. That will be 4 radian per second, and then we put in vector form, that will be 4 radian per second in the k direction. Okay, so now you find out the velocity. Then the hardest part about chapter 2 is finding out the acceleration, because the acceleration is not exactly very hard to find, it's just very tedious. So with that said, let's go try to find what's the acceleration. Similarly, on how we can find velocity, acceleration works the same way. So acceleration of b from a, which is a fixed point, is the same as acceleration of b from e, which is also a fixed point. So acceleration of b is equal to acceleration of b from a plus acceleration of a. We know that a is a fixed point, hence acceleration of a is 0. Acceleration of b from a can split into two components, because this is a solid rod, right? There's only tangential acceleration and centripetal acceleration, because it moves in a circular path, if we can visualize. Okay, so tangential acceleration, centripetal acceleration. We know that from the question that is given to us, it says that it has constant angular velocity. With constant angular velocity, this means that there is no tangential acceleration. Hence, I put the alpha of b from a to 0. Hence, I can ignore the whole tangential acceleration and focus on centripetal acceleration. Hence, the absolute acceleration is, the vector looks something like this. Okay? I put in whatever I know, because rb from a I calculated previously, and omega b from a I calculated previously. I mean, not calculated previously, this is given to us. Rb from a is what we have calculated using the Pythagoras theorem over here. See? Yeah. So very simply, I can find out that alpha of b is negative 2846.052 in the 198.435 degrees direction. So that's the acceleration of a from acceleration of b from a. Next, I'm trying to find acceleration of b from e. So there will be acceleration of b from d plus acceleration of d from e plus acceleration of e. E is a fixed point, hence acceleration of e goes to 0. Using the same method as I did from the acceleration of b from a, I'll put in the general form, because I know that these are all circular paths relative to each other. Hence, there is no how do I say? Hence, there's only tangential acceleration and centripetal acceleration. So with this, I put in whatever I know and whatever I do not, and whatever I know first, then find out what I do not have. Okay? Acceleration of b, very simple. I just bring this down over here. See, over here. I know what's rb from d, because it's given 200. I know what's rd from e is given is 225. I know what's omega b from d, because I calculated over here. I know what's omega d from e, because it's calculated over here. Putting whatever I have, I realize that I have one vector equation and two unknowns. What are the two unknowns? Alpha b from d and alpha d from e. Okay? Similarly, to find out one of the unknowns, I can use the dot product method. So I dot product 90 degrees on both sides for this equation too, and I can find out what's alpha d from e. Similarly, when I was doing the calculation, I assumed that alpha is moving in the positive direction. When I get a negative value, I know my initial assumption is wrong, and hence it's negative 6 k hat in the it's negative 6 radian per second square in a k hat direction for alpha d from e. Now, to find alpha b from d, I just do the dot product method again, but in this case, I'm trying to get rid of alpha d from e. Okay, over here. Because when you dot 180 degree to a vector that is in 270 degree, the angle that's formed in between is 90 degree. Hence, you can get rid of this. So very simply, just do the math. And you can find out alpha b from d is 4.5 radian per second square. That means my initial assumption is correct. And then in vector form, there'll be 4.5 radian per second square in a k direction. So that's all for question 1 and question 2.